All right, I think we're online. I want to welcome everybody. This is Speed Curves, and we are here today at the Road Atlanta Alt Circuit. And we are round 5 of the RBHM Time Travel Trophy. And it's going to be another great week of racing. So today we're going to have, again, 3 races, 20 minutes each. And I expect a lot of good passing and good challenging in today's racing. So again, here at Road America always produces excellent fun for the drivers and a lot of fun for those viewing. And I think with the lineup of cars, we talked a lot about it last week. This new 80s era lineup is really fun and really cool. So expect to see a lot of good passing, and we have a BP balance of power adjustment this week. So last week when we were racing at Mugello, so the strong cars were really strong, and the weaker cars, well, they showed that they were a bit weak. So with the shift this week in the balance of power and the PI, I think that's going to balance it out. So again, here at Road America, you got 2 longer straights, so a car with power is going to be able to stretch its legs there. But there's some sections of this track where if you have the handling, like the carousel, you're going to make up a lot of time, including the kink. Now, actually, this track does not really have the kink, so we are at the alternate circuit, so we're going to lose that. But either way, it's still going to produce a lot of good racing. So let's go through the points, where we're standing, and we are going to go through AM points because last week we streamed the pro class, and because there are so many people signed up for this race series, they have to have 2 lobbies. So generally the pro class and the AMs go together on track, but can't do that today because there's too many people signed up. That's how good this series has been. So we will be with the amateurs today, and the pro class, they are racing as well. We streamed them last week, so this week we're with the amateur class. So let's talk about the points for the amateur class. Starting off, we're going to look at who is running the lead in the amateur class. It's going to be RBHM Shaggy with the points lead coming into today. So after 4 rounds, RBHM Shaggy coming in today with the points lead at a total of 630 points, which is a really nice lead over second place. And let's talk about that driver. It's going to be AXR Madness. So AXR Madness is coming in, and he is totaled at 568 points. So you're talking, what is that, 40, it's roughly 60, I think about 62 points there. And then after Shaggy, you got RBHM Wild. So RBHM Wild coming in today with his points total at 563. So he's just behind in 3rd place there. So a really good fight for 2nd place in the points. And we'll see how that turns out after 3 races today. So let's just make sure that Shaggy, Madness, and Wild are all in the lobby today. So I see Wild there. He's in his RX-7, and Shaggy's in his Spider, and AXR Madness is also here, and looks like he's in that GSX, that Buick. So all drivers are here. Actually, no, Madness is not in the Buick. That's going to be Jello. Let's give a shout out to Jello because he is 4th in the points. So trailing just behind there, within striking distance, is Jello, and he's going to be looking to maximize his points today as he's running a 596. So his PI is very competitive today. So I expect to see that that car, that Buick Regal, striking for some podium positions today. So let's take a look at the rest of the field today. So we got Fox Jason in the Delta, and let's see, Zip Plant, he's in that 911 Turbo. I really like that car. I like that paint job he's got on it too, that German paint job. And then we got Ninja in the GTS Nissan, followed by Viper in the Starion. Now that car right there I haven't seen a whole lot of, but I have seen it run the circuits in some of other racing series, and I know it's got a good balance, but we'll see how he's able to run that car and how competitive it is today. So then you got Schultz. That's Schultz out of South Africa. He's running the Alfa Romeo, the GTV6 today. And didn't see him. I think he missed a race or two, so his points total is he's probably a little lower in the standings, but he's going to be looking today to bring that back up. Then you got Bad Luck and then AAR Relic, and that's a total of 11 drivers in the lobby. So 11 drivers today. Let's see them battle it out here at Road America, and I am currently spectating, which is what I need to be. So as soon as everyone's checked up, we're going to get this madness, no pun intended there, AXR, underway and watch some good racing. So good luck to everybody in the pro class today. Like to see how that shakes up, and I think we will not be short of any kind of good racing today here in this lobby, as all these drivers know each other well. And again, as I pointed out before, one thing I really like is that we're seeing multiple clubs represented here today. So I want to apologize to any of the viewers that are disappointed that I had to rid myself of the stash this week. I'm sorry about that, but had a special request to have it removed from the wife. So anyways, with that said, enough about that. I think we're going to get started here any moment. Just take a quick check on the audio. Just stand by. Don't go anywhere. I think. How's the audio sound? You don't hear any hiccuping or anything like that? Okay, good. All right, everything looks synced. Okay. Okay. What do you mean you don't see me? Bring it over here. Just doing a couple quick audio checks here before we get underway. So it looks like we got about 3 drivers here left to check up, and probably going to get this thing started. So OK Fox Jason is in a 606 PI. Then you got Bad Luck. He's in a 611. So that's 2 drivers there that are in a class. So I think we're going to probably see a dominant straight line performance and probably corner speed coming out of those cars right now. That Lancia Delta that Jason's in, I know that car has probably got some good balance. So I think with the 606, he's going to have a podium potential today. And then this Holden, who I think I said early on in my pre-race press conference that this car, I expect to see it do well. And Bad Luck running a 611, so PI that is. So here we go, folks. We're going to get this race started. Hope you are seat belted in. And let's just jump on with Schultz. We'll ride along with him. He's in that Alfa Romeo, and I think his teammate is Curve from the pro class as he's running through the Alfa Romeo as well. So here we go. Let's get started. We are live here at the Road America track alternate circuit. So and lights are out. We are rolling. We are racing. And we're going to ride on board here with Schultz as we see Ziplant in that Porsche right up behind him. And OK Fox Jason holding us inside line here. So as they're coming into turn 1, that Porsche making a little slight move there on the inside. Looking back behind him, Porsche Ziplant holding his line, doing a good job there with Madness in that 944 Porsche. Look at the speed on the brakes hard, but he gets him out in the grass, and he looks like he's lost a little bit of traction, but he's done a great job to hold it on the track there. And Jello, the GTX, I think he's going to have some good straight line speed, but look at the Alpha here as it roars down the second straight here. making an inside move on ETR Jello, but Jello late on the brakes as we see Wild and Shaggy up in position 1 and 2 there. So looks like everyone's got through the first 4 corners nice and clean. That's an inside move here on Schultz, but Jello shrugged. Oh, it looks like, oh no, disaster has struck early as Jello has had a tap from his left quarter panel and spun him off the track. And it looks to me like Schultz has pulled off to the side to wait for him. But we're going to jump up to the drivers ahead of us not to miss any of the action at the front. So let's jump on with Wild, and Wild's in that RX-7, and he is right there putting pressure on that first place driver in that Spider, that Alfa Romeo Spider. So you got Shaggy in first place as they're going through the chicane here, they're otherwise known as the bus stop. And so first place positions. Looks like it's going to be a restart, folks. Looks like it's going to be a restart. So maybe there was a bit of lag in there. So don't go anywhere. We are not canceling the race. It's going to be a restart. So I must make sure that I ready up. I'm sorry, that I am spectating. So yeah, we saw a coming together there of a couple drivers, and it did cause a spin. It looked like a pretty violent spin. We had a front row seat. I want to welcome all my viewers here that are watching live. Y'all got a front row seat for that, so cast your opinions lightly. It's hard to say with all the internet lag and things like that. So we're going to get started again. We're rerun race 1 and do this again. Let's jump on. We'll stay with Schultz. Actually, let's stay with Schultz on the start of this race here and wish these 11 drivers a little bit better luck for this restart. So here we go again. Lights are about to be out, and we are going to go racing here any second. And here we are off. And again, let's jump on where we were before. So we got a good view front and back here. And so Jello in that GTX, it looks like we got a little bit of a tap from Zit Plant there to the back of Schultz, but no harm, no foul. As the first group of 4, we'll just call a first group of 4, as Schultz is trying to hang on to this front group, and it's already looking like a second group is forming. So you got the front group and a second group, and as they race down the Moraine sweep here, as they coming down into turn 5, so a big braking area here. Also going to see a lot of passing opportunities in this area throughout the races. And it looks like Jason and Wild have a little bit of contact there, but nothing too egregious as Jello tucks in right behind them. As they come up into turn 6, you got to get this right through here. And with cold tires, it can be quite difficult. So is Shaggy making a break here, folks? He's already got himself about 3/10 of a lead there in that little Spider. We knew that was a dominant car early in last week's race, but we should see a PI reduction from him to equal out the field. But look at this, Wild a little bit hung up in the carousel as they're going through. And it looks like this Alpha is doing pretty well for them. We're coming up into the bus stop, and still that Spider up ahead, that first place driver of Shaggy. Oh no, it looks like another incident. Oh no, we see the Porsche into the wall. A massive moment for the Porsche, who I believe was Zit Plant, into the wall. Let's just see if we can get back and see where he's at. Yeah, he's definitely into the wall and damaged. Yeah, he is. It's a beautiful car. It's such a shame to see it. He's not going to be able to get that thing going again. So on lap 1, this 82 911 Turbo is going to limp his way back to the pits. So we don't want to miss too much of the traffic. Up ahead, let's run right along with ETR Jello. Can't really comment on what happened there. Didn't get a solid look at it as I had my eyes elsewhere. But lap 1 complete for this group, and ETR Jello had slotted himself into 3rd place. And it looks like OK Fox Jason, who I might have been involved in that incident, is taking 6th place position at this time. So, yeah, as they're running down through turn 2, this section of the track right here, this is considered turn 3, although turn 2 is a bit of a, not much of a corner there, but that's turn 3 as they roll down the moraine sweep here. Now look at the straight line speed of Fox Jason. It looks like he has really been able to put it on the other driver there of Schultz. But Schultz coming right back up. He's going to be later on the brakes. Or is he? And Fox Jason able to put the binders on and get that thing turned as Bad Luck Ruck just ahead there. So already we've seen this group. It's barely lap 2. We see a massive spread of the drivers. I think that a lot of that's going to be because of that moment that we saw in lap 1 where we saw Zip Plant into the tires. So Zip Plant, I don't know if he's been able to make it back to the pit yet. I'm sure we will see eventually here. But nonetheless, we got some good racing to watch as Schultz is following closely behind Jason there. Jason putting all the pressure as they come in through the carousel on Bad Luck. Now, if you watch that pink car that Bad Luck's in, you can see that he is definitely unstable coming through the carousel there. So maybe he has a lot of straight line speed and has set that car up for acceleration for that top speed. So we'll see how that works out for him as they're coming into a short chute right here before they come up to the bus stop. So is the Spider, is that Spider of Shaggy still in first place? It looks like he is. And Wild in the RX-7 right there with them. So Shaggy not getting away this week. And the Spider with the PI reduction, I believe, is been showing its vulnerabilities now. So we do have a driver that's in 3rd place, which is Jello. That's not too far back, and look at this, here it is. RBHM Wild now going mono to mono with Shaggy on the straight as they cross the finish line and lap 3 is underway, and that RX-7 of Wild has taken the lead. A very nice clean pass, but Shaggy not laying down as an inside move is now being placed on Wild. So this is getting through here. Look at this. They're side by side. Not easy to do. Very clean maneuvers on both drivers. Showing the room, showing the respect for each other. They are both RBHM drivers, so we know that they've raced with each other multiple times. Now this Spider has tucked in right behind the RX-7, so I expect these two to be glued to each other's bumpers this whole race. So this is some good racing right here. I think it might be a good time for Shaggy just to kind of study Wild and see if his car has an advantage in one place of the track or the other. So look at the gap being formed between the front 3 and the rest of the field. It's very significant as I see Jello making a slight progress to these two drivers in front of him. So Jello in that GTX got a bump on in PI this week, making it work for him as he's in a podium position. So let's check back on these front 3 as we're going to bounce back a little bit here and go back to Ninja. So AAR Ninja representing his club. He's in that Nissan GTR and he's currently in 6th place. So he's kind of running by himself, not under any threat at the moment as they come down into the bus stop. So he sees Fox Jason just ahead of him as they exit the bus stop. You got to get a good run out of here because you're going to make yourself all the way down into Canada Corner, which is turn 12. So if you can get that really solid drive out of that bus stop, you're going to be able to make up a little bit of time rolling down into Canada corner. Now, keep in mind, this is another excellent passing opportunity for the drivers, as it looks like Ninja's gone a bit wide there, maybe a little bit more ambitious on the brakes than the car was able to respond to. So we'll keep an eye on him. As we said, Relic, let's bounce back to Relic as he is in that Volvo. And the Volvo has been pointed out to me through some other drivers that it does have some racing history, so I can't knock the Volvo, as these drivers are in the pits early and looking to get that out of the way. So Zip Plant's in 11th. I'm sure he's by himself. He has gotten back to get that car repaired, but it's a lonely ride for him, as he is all by himself. So AXR Madness in that Porsche 944. I do like that paint job. I like those colors he's got on there. And he is in 10th place. And you can see the rear end of that car a little loose, so he's probably struggling for rear grip there on corner exit. As he makes his way through this carousel section, is that car looked nice and tidy, fairly decent through there. Looks like he hit that final apex coming out of the carousel, and he's in that short chute as he comes up to the bus stop here. So as we follow along with Madness, and I do believe this is a really nice little car, actually. If you're able to set it up and get the car balanced, I think it's a really good option for this track. And we're not able to see him battling with any other drivers at the moment, but look, it's just in the distance behind him. You see that driver of Zip Plant in that 82 911T. So let's see how 10th and 11th place ends up working out for the remainder of these laps. So Bad Luck in 4th place. He's leading that second group with that hot pink car. Now, it's escaping me at the moment. I think this is a Holden, if I remember right. So excuse me if I got that wrong. But yeah, I think it's a Holden. And it looks like he's actually making a little bit of progress visually on that 3rd place driver ahead of him. So let's see if him and Fox Jason can work together to reel in this group of 1, 2, 3 ahead of him. So Bad Luck and Fox Jason going to do everything they can to try to put themselves in a position to maybe capture a podium position. So yeah, Jello is going to have his work cut out for him to maintain that position. So a lot of spread out drivers here. Let's open the map up and see where we are. So we got a driver in the pits. Looks like 2 drivers in the pits. So as Bad Luck rolls down the straightaway, he's going to come across traffic, exiting the pit. So this is where we're going to see an instant battle. Let's stay right here as we have Bad Luck has now inherited that 1st place position. And now AXR Madness just ahead of him. So Madness is showing in 11th place. So your 1st place driver currently, Bad Luck, in that Holden as he approaches AXR Madness is showing in 11th place. So it's going to be a lap driver here if he catches him. So I think it's safe to say that Madness probably ran into some trouble there unless Bad Luck just has not pitted yet. But with the pit delta, I don't know that it's that long, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't have access to the stats, folks, if the drivers have taken their pits or not. So it's kind of a guess for me as we follow the drivers through the circuit. So I'm going to go back to Shaggy and Wild, who at one point were 1-2 on track. And we are now with Wild in that RX-7. And I'm looking, yep, Shaggy's right behind him. So Shaggy's still there, and I think I saw Jello just behind them. So these, kind of hard to see if that was Jello back there. Let's go back to Shaggy to get a better picture. So this is 3, 4, and 5. Yes, it is in fact Jello. So these 3 drivers have definitely taken a pit. look at Shaggy just sliding that rear all the way through the carousel. He's got that car set up for as much straight line speed as he can get out of it. You can tell because it's everything he's got just to keep the rear wheels in line with the front there. But he's doing a really nice job as that candy apple red Spider tries to chase down that RX-7 down the track through this little short chute as they come into Canada Corner. Now this is, again, at some point we will see passing opportunities here when these cars are close enough. So Jello holding about the same distance from these drivers as we saw a bit earlier in the race. So we currently have 5 of 8 laps. And once they come across the finish line, once the first driver comes through, we're going to see about 3 laps left. So still a little bit of racing to go here. And I'm looking at this paint livery of Shaggy. It's pretty standard, but looks really nice and clean. So a couple drivers in the pits as Shaggy, Wild, and Jello make their way down into turn 1. And it's still, visually, I'm not seeing a lot of change here, folks. So I think the balance is really, really good between these 2 cars, potentially these 3 cars. So driver skill, we know that driver skill here is at a high level for all 3 of these drivers. So we're going to go back a little bit into the field and find out where Fox Jason is. Has he made any progress on Bad Luck? And he has made maybe a 10th or 2 as they make their way down the Moraine Sweep going into turn 5. So the Alfa Romeo hard on the brakes there. This car looks a lot like an SUV, almost like a hybrid vehicle. So I think it's probably pretty well balanced for the car. A bit of a strange look, but almost looks like the Gremlin, the AMC Gremlin. So I might have that wrong, but I do apologize if I've offended anybody that is a Gremlin fan. So Bad Luck Ruck starting to look a little vulnerable to Fox Jason. Now Fox Jason working this car as he goes through the carousel, looking pretty planted, looking pretty good. You can see the gear shift changes as the fire comes out the tailpipe there, and he's really sporting his 7-Up livery there as they come into this bus stop. And look at this, visually he is there. So visually he is really putting the pressure on this driver in front of him. So Bad Luck starting to feel it. And that Volvo starting to lose touch with these 2. So I'm curious. I'm going to stay here because I want to see if Fox Jason, look at that, and it looks to me like he kind of blew Canada Corner there. Fox Jason nailing it, and this is maybe giving him a little bit more of a chance. Is he going to reel him in through the section? If he does, we'll know. That'll be our cue that the Holden is struggling with the handling. But now on to the start straight finish. This is where I think we might see that Holden stretch the advantage slightly on Fox Jason. As they come down to just across start finish. And we're getting close here, folks. We are currently lap 7 of 8. Now this is position 4 and 5. Keep in mind of about 11 cars on track. So Bad Luck has re-stretched that lead by about 2/10. He's gonna need it as they come into the second, third, and last part of this track. So we've seen Jason really reel him in that portion. So meanwhile, we need to go back and check who's in front and see what the position is. So it looks like Wild has assumed that first place position. Now everyone has pitted, and Wild is now back in front. So Wild bringing up the front of this race as we see Shaggy in second, and I presume that we will see Jello in third. Where is he though? Jello is in third. And he's still a ways back, so not making any progress, but I think he's got a pretty safe cushion there to bring home that third place position, barring any mishaps. So it seems to me like the racing is right here. Let's bounce back and see if Zitplant has made any progress, and he has. Zitplant has caught and passed Madness. So Madness was struggling a bit earlier, as we saw, as he's making his way through that Porsche 944, has struggled. So maybe that car not quite set up the way he wants. I did hear him saying a little bit earlier that he hadn't got the practice he was looking for on track. So that might have something to do with his current position. But nonetheless, he's still fighting with everything he's got as he makes his way into turn one. So Viper the Boss, we haven't seen him too much yet. And he is in that Mitsubishi now. As Viper the Boss, he does have a visual lock on the driver ahead of him, which is AAR Ninja. And is he going to be able to do anything with only a short lap or so left to strike? So they will see the white flag as they come across, and this will be your final lap. So if Viper the Boss is going to do something with Ninja, he's going to have to do it now. Maybe this straight line section will give him the advantage he needs as he pushes that Mitsubishi as much as he possibly can, trying to catch that car of AXR Ninjas in. Now let's get to AR Ninja. I don't remember exactly what car he was in. Was it the Nissan? Yes, it is. It is that Nissan GTR. So Schultz just ahead of Ninja there, looks pretty safe in that 7th place position. So Schultz, who was involved in an early incident, seems to have recovered from that. And I'm not sure where to go with the racing. Since it is the last lap, let's go to the front. The pointy part of this race at the front. It's going to be Shaggy in second and Wild in first. And it looks to me like Wild's comfortably going to take the win here, barring the commentator's curse. And Jello's still comfortably in third there. So let's go to that 4th and 5th position, because there was a potential battle there. And it looks like I had missed out on a pass for 4th place, as that Holden was not able to hold that 4th place position. And you can see why his bad luck Ruck has totally got that car sideways going through the carousel. He's going to lose all that drive, and it's going to hurt his time. But I think Fox Jason's probably feeling pretty good about his 4th place position that he's in now, as he should be able to bring this home. So not a podium, but not a bad finish for him in this first race. And I just don't see a change in any positions at this point coming forward. So Wild going to be coming across the finish line. As he comes up over the crest here, he's going to see that checkered flag waving. Good job to RBHM Wild as he takes the win for race 1. And following behind him is going to be a teammate of his, RBHM Shaggy, for the 2nd place in that dominant Alpha Spider thus far in this series. Followed by your 3rd place driver is going to be Jello in that Buick, that GTX, as he comfortably takes home 3rd. Followed by OK Fox Jason, and then Bad Luck. So Bad Luck probably a little disappointed he wasn't able to hold that 4th place position. As we see AAR Relic come across in that Volvo, followed by Schultz. And then finally, AAR Ninja, Viper the Boss, and Zitplant in that Porsche. So he's still making his way around this course, as he had that lap 1 drama which unfolded where he saw himself in the tire wall. He's going to want to recover from that in race 2. Now remember, he does have a reverse race grid in his favor coming up right after this, and that will be interesting to see if he's able to take advantage of that. Now I really like the way he's got this car painted. I really like this car in general. It's a beautiful car. I've always been a fan of this 911, 82 911. So as we watch him navigate the final corner here as he comes through turn 14 and he works his way up the hill, Zitplant's going to want to put this race behind him, but he stuck it in there and he finishes the race. Congratulations to him for that, as he's got better days ahead in race 2, I'm sure. And finally, AXR Madness, who has struggled in that Porsche. So Porsche is not showing the best of their abilities here today at Road America. As he is now making his way through the last section of the track, up the hill here, as he's going to see the waving checkered flag, and he's probably going to take a sigh of relief and able to take a breather here. So again, that's the end of it, folks. We're going to go back to the lobby. I want to see if anybody has anything to say. I'm going to check the chat right now. Please interact with me in the chat. Tell me what you think about the racing such far. So just catching up on my chats here. And I do want to say thank you to everybody who is in the chat. True Benz gets a shout out. Want to give a shout out to him. And Gump, he's in there too. Want to give a shout out to him. And we have a first time chat from a viewer. So I like how Twitch is introducing a first time chat from Stewie, 1979. So welcome, Stewie. And glad to have you. Want to hear what you have to say. Make a comment. And yeah, man, I really want to say thanks. And thanks for the shout out. And I'm glad to be here anytime. So keep it coming. And we do have a comment from one of the viewers that is said that he believes Wild is a very consistent driver. Now, I have to agree with him, especially after what we've just seen. Now, Wild took the win there in that RX-7, and he was in a 581 PI. As you can see here, 581 for that Mazda RX-7, followed by a very close 576 of Shaggy. So I really believe those two cars were pretty well balanced there. So you're seeing a 5-point difference between that Alpha Spider and that RX-7. But Wild able to prevail with the extra 5-point PI there. So let's see if Shaggy can learn anything about following Wild from that first race. And maybe we will see more battles between those two coming up here in race 2. So I did struggle with Viper's make. I know it's a Mitsubishi. It looks like it's a Starion. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get that right for this next race. And then also, yeah, it was a Holden that Bad Luck Ruck was running around in. And finally, a Lancia Delta. So Fox Jason running around in the Lancia. I did get that right too for the next race. So some of these cars do slip my mind, the make and model during the race. So let's hear it, folks. Tell me what you believe is going to happen race 2. Give me a shout out. I would love to bring it up, give you a mention on the stream. Want to say thanks to all of our sponsors that have come into this series. Rogue Energy being one of them. Want to say thanks to them. And being that we have a few moments, let's take a look at some of the sponsors. So we see Rogue Energy there displayed on Wild, on the front hood there of Wild's RX-7. And of course 7-Up is a major sponsor here for OK Fox Jason D. Anything I can see I will call out. So of course AAR there supporting his club. And another Rogue Energy sponsor well displayed there on the side of Schultz's car. And we have seen several of their logos displayed here. So a big sponsor here at the Time Travel Trophy. And looks like those are the ones that we can see clearly. And are we going to get another driver in the lobby? Currently, it's still at 11 drivers. All right, looks like we got about half of the field checked up. This is going to be race 2, a reverse race grid. Let's see if we can get a... So, yeah, we're going to have Madness, who's going to be right there at the pointy part of the race. So he does have that pole position. He's in that 944. And I know that he didn't get the practice he was looking for. Probably the car setup isn't what he was hoping for as well. So lack of track time will affect the setup of the car. But I expect Ziplant to produce a little bit stronger result in race 2 with that really nice looking 911 turbo. And then Viper the Boss, he's going to have that third position on the grid. So, and then on down from there. So we'll see, will those front runners be able to work their way through the field? Jello, Shaggy, and Wild, are they going to be able to navigate the traffic with their higher, well, it's not necessarily higher PI, but it's definitely cars that have shown to be strong on this circuit. So we're getting started here, folks. Get ready. We are race 2, the time travel trophy here. Wish them luck. Not sure who we're going to be riding along with at the start of this race, but we will try to get to a decent... So we're on with Schultz. This is who we were on with before, and we're going to get an immediate... Look at this, Fox Jason making a strong move on acceleration. Puts about 2 to 3 positions behind him as he's got it a little hot going into that first corner, but Viper the Boss able to work its way, but Jason's got the acceleration there. And Fox Jason now capitalizing on that third place, holding it down as they come through that turn 3. Now we're going down the Moraine Sweeper. This is considered a corner, actually turn 4. It's not really a corner, but Viper the Boss getting eaten alive by this Alpha of Schultz, a driver out of South Africa, as he's hard on the brakes, and it looks like there's a bit of a brake lockup for Relic there. But Shaggy, look at Shaggy trying to work his way through traffic there. And Shaggy in that Alpha, we know it's a strong car, as Bad Luck hugging that inside, not wanting to let Shaggy take advantage of it. But Shaggy just right around the outside, not a problem. Just drives around the outside like he's standing still. And Madness now struggling. And has given, oh no, it looked like Fox Jason really late dive bomb on the brakes there as they went into turn 6. So now we have a struggling Schultz pushed out slightly going through the carousel as you have 2 threatening drivers as they come into the bus stop, and already Ziplant trying to retaliate from that Fox Jason. Oh, look at this. Now we have Fox Jason getting a little sideways, and I think what we're seeing here, folks, is quite a disparagement between the handling of the car as they work their way through the bus stop. So the acceleration, the straight line speed of this Alpha is pretty solid, but I don't know about the corner capabilities. As look at that Starion, he's wide going through Canada corner. And AXR Madness not willing to accept another bad result as he's putting all this pressure on Schultz as they come into the final corner here, which is turn 14, before they hit the long start straight finish. And Shaggy really has done an amazing job working his way through all this traffic. Now look at the dominance here of Shaggy. Literally hasn't barely crossed the start finish line on lap 1 and already worked himself into a podium position. surely a race win beckons him. Wow, I'm really impressed with Shaggy and the car that he's got underneath him today, as Jello trying to make everything he can of that GTX Buick back there. And look at Madness, late on the brakes, but those cars all following suit into turn 3 as they're getting back out into the Moraine sweep. And they're working their way all the way down into turn 5, so Shaggy still showing that dominance in that Spider right now. But I really like what I'm seeing out of Zip Plant in that Porsche. He's a little late on the brakes there, but look at the rear of that Porsche, smoking it as he's getting back on the gas. But Shaggy is putting a ton of pressure on him. And Wild now has made his way through some traffic, but Bad Luck not willing to give up any positions for AXR Madness. Let's get away from this camera view. It's not really good for the viewers, as there's a lot of glitching that does happen. So we're going to keep a close eye on that second and third position as OK Fox Jason trying to make a getaway here and a break at the front. So he's going to have to use every bit he can early doors here to keep Shaggy at bay. But now Wild also trying to work the performance of that RX-7 as well. So they're going into the bus stop here. If you can get a really nice line, you can get on that gas really early coming out of the bus stop and maximize your acceleration points to the short chute here coming out down into Canada Corner. So I'm going to look back a little bit because I think there's going to be some jostling for position as Viper the Boss is battling with Relic in that Volvo. Viper the Boss hugs that inside. He doesn't want to give that up going into Canada Corner. That's a major passing point right there. So AR Relic has not let that stymie his efforts, as Relic probably offline where he's at right now, but if he can hold that and block that inside, he can't do it though. Look at that. That Viper the Boss knew it, and he maintained that better outside line to get on that accelerator. But I don't know. We'll see what happens as they come down this long straight. And Ninja looking pretty good on his straight line speed. Is he going to be able to attack going into turn 1? It looks like he's going to be able to attack. He's got the outside, but I think Viper just has to kind of pinch him, which, has he done it? No, he hasn't. Ninja completing a clean pass there around the outside as Jello, who was a third place finisher, up ahead there. So nice little group here of 3 as they battle for position. Unfortunately, it's for 8th place, but nonetheless, good racing. And we're going to look up front. Where are we with Shaggy and the top 3? So Shaggy now getting a little bit closer. Look at him slide the rear as he counter steers that Spider going into turn 5 and up the hill into turn 6 under the bridge. And this section right here, if you can nail this section and keep your car from moving around, you will get a beautiful roller coaster like ride through here down the hill into this final turn 6 prior to your entrance into the I just lost my carousel. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So as they're going through the carousel, Zip Plant sliding that Porsche. So OK Fox Jason not able to make a major break here. And now it's probably starting to feel the pressure. So we're going to have to take a quick break here from the action. Do excuse me for 1 minute. Okay, we are back with you. I apologize about that. So Zip Plant has now assumed that third place. So Shaggy, again, pressuring that first place driver as they roll down the front straight here. And I'd like to know, is Wild, yes he is, Wild is there. in that RX-7. So Zip Plant in a better place than he was race 1, but he is definitely going to be under attack here pretty soon. So we're going to follow along with Shaggy. So I don't think that OK Fox Jason is going to take this lane down. He knows he's got the pressure from Shaggy. As look, we're starting to see a little bit of a bunch up here. Is Fox Jason going to be able to slow the pace as they come through this second, third, and last part of the track? So they're probably entering as they come down into turn 5. This is probably a place where Shaggy's going to be able to make up some ground. But it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to make a clean pass, because although we've seen him go around the outside already of a few drivers, I don't think it's going to be an easy feat for him of an outside pass. So let's continue to watch and see how this develops. The Zip Plant has got his bearings back and has continued his driving, as he has not really let Shaggy get away. So they're all looking good, and they're starting to bunch up slightly as they come through into the carousel. And I see Wild really doing a good job there. Look at that car of Shaggy just totally getting sideways. You know he's got the speed in the straight line, but he's doing everything he can to keep that car laid on the brakes. And that Lancia, look at the tire width on there. He's got a pretty nice big width of tire on that Lancia, so he's probably able to get on the gas early. And I think we have a really juicy group of 4 here that is going to be battling for the win. So again, we knew we would see a pass potentially in Canada Corner, but it's not going to be here, as Fox Jason's gone a little deep and probably lost a 10th or 2 on this lap, but not surrendering anything yet. So here it is. I think this is where we're going to see a pit or maybe a pass on the straight, as OK Fox Jason trying to get that car through that corner, and sure enough, a pit is coming from Shaggy, Wild, and from Zip Plant, and OK Fox Jason is going to welcome that as the pressure is relinquished from him and he can run his own race. So let's get away from these front 3 and go on with Ninja, as Ninja's also in the pit. So a popular lap for a pit strategy is I can't seem to find anybody who hasn't pitted. And here is Madness. I'm sorry, Bad Luck in this Holden. So he is currently not in the pits, followed by Relic behind him. So he's already taken his pit. Now listen to the roar of that engine. He has not taken his pit as he comes up over that final crest onto the straight. So a couple drivers exiting the pits, and it looks like there was a little contact there, but I couldn't see for sure. Ninja out in front of Bad Luck Ruck there. And struggling with grip is Bad Luck Ruck, really having a hard time exiting the corners there, as he really has not been able to put the power down. So we're currently on lap 5 of 8, and I saw a pass just happen right there. It looked like indeed it did. Bad Luck going right around Ninja on that back straight coming into turn 5 as they roll up the hill under the bridge here into turn 6. Where are we at for the front of this race? And Fox Jason still leading. And Jello in second place. Look at the width of the tires on that GTX. A massive tire attached to that car, as he's probably done everything he can to try to be able to put that power down. So we know these 2 drivers have not pitted yet, and they will probably be looking to pit here soon because the pit window is closing. So Shaggy ahead of Zip Plant. So they've exited the pits. This group's exited the pits, And Zip Plant has been relegated to third position of this group in that Porsche. So again, the Alpha Spider and the RX-7 looking really strong, where there's only 5 PI points separating those two cars, and it looks to me like they've done a pretty good job here of keeping those cars competitive with one another. But the 82 Porsche here struggling a bit, but I have to say I just love looking at that car. It's such a pretty car as he works his way around the track. The Zip Plant done a really nice job. Now again, no Forza Aero on any of these cars. It's all no aero on any car, and as you can see on this Porsche, that's a factory Porsche whale tail on it, so it does not have any downforce adjustability on it. None of the cars do. So we have Jello exiting the pits here, and Zip Plant able to stay ahead of Jello then. So Schultz in 6th place, and he has exited. I think he's exited the pits as well. So Shaggy just showing the dominance here, folks. There's really no other way to say it. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride along. Well, look at that. I got to say, Fox Jason is still there. So Fox Jason not putting a ton of pressure on him, but he's still there. If there is a mistake made by Shaggy, Fox Jason able to probably strike, but he does have the pressure behind him as well of Wild in that RX-7, and Zip Plant has not gone anywhere either. So let's go on board with Wild, as Wild is trying to induce a mistake made. Let's see if he can do it. I'm going to go on board with him. And already some bumper-to-bumper contact there as they're going into the carousel. This is where I think Wild's going to have some pretty good grip. Let's see, as you look at it, he's inching closer and closer to Jason. Is he going to nail this exit as they come down? It's going to be an inside attack going into the bus stop. No, it's not. He's setting himself up for an early acceleration out of the bus stop, and he's going to want to do something in the Canada corner. So but look at the acceleration by that Lancia, really strong acceleration by that Lancia. And so Wild's not going to do anything on the brakes coming into Canada. It's going to have to wait until they get onto that start straight finish. And looks like Wild's doing really nice. I don't hear any movement on the rear of that car, so doing a good job. Look at me squaring them up as they move. It's a little bit of contact, not executed perfectly, but nonetheless executed. Coming into the final corner, turn 14, but he's got the Lancia on the inside, but I think this advantage is going to go to the RX-7 as the straight line speed will prevail. They're wheel to wheel, door to door, and look at it. You can clearly see the RX-7 does have the ultimate speed there, and Fox Jason relegated to that third position. Now he's going to have to deal with Zip Plant, who is sliding that Porsche all the way through turn 1, struggling to do everything he can to get that car hooked up. And you can see just in the back there, that GTX, that Buick of Jello, he's trying to get that car. Oh, Zip Plant off the circuit there. No traction out there, as he struggles to get that car back on the track. So now we have what looks like a runaway race win, unless we see something massive moment happen out of Shaggy here. So Shaggy, who took a second place position, is now showing that car's dominance with what's probably going to be a sizable lead here as he crosses the finish line in the last few laps here. So Wild keeping Fox Jason at bay, and Zip Plant as well, and Jello, who is trying to get up into this group but may struggle. So yeah, someone mentioned in the chat about a really nice consistent driving out of Wild. I'm gonna have to agree. I'm gonna have to agree with them, as I see really nice consistency. Now maybe the car is not there to compete with that Spider of Shaggy, but nonetheless the driving skill is really nice there. So back to the replay cameras. We're going to go a little bit farther back. Let's go with Viper the Boss, who is... Oh no, zip plant in the wall. Zip plant in the wall. A major event that has happened here in the last part of this race. A second coming together in the same portion of the track for zip plant and has been relegated to the back. Is he taking damage? Disaster has struck again with no movement. Yeah, look at this. Let's take a look at his damage. And he does have 100% damage there. Transmission, 100%. Driveline, 100%. And steering, 100%. So his race day is over, ladies and gentlemen. So sorry to see that for him. But we're going to go back to the front. Let's go with Schultz and see where he's at. As we are currently on the final lap here. Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see that. I did not want to see that happen to any driver, especially with Ziplant, who was having a really nice race up to that point. We'll have to wait and see if he was helped off the racetrack. I don't really know, but either way, we got a final lap underway. The white flag has flown. This is where the race is going to be. Let's pull up the map here just to make sure. Yeah, so 1, 2, and 3 is pretty much done and dusted. So we're going to stay on position 4, 5, 6, and 7 through the final lap of this race. Now, look at this. We got to move. Let's push back a little bit with Ninja. And Ninja just behind Schultz there in that Nissan. And I think we had a few positions that were lost for that Holden. So Ninja and Relic, this is where the battle royale is going to be. And look at the deep dive from AAR Relic on Ninja. So teammate on teammate going head to head. Let's go back with these two as Relic and Ninja are fighting it out into the carousel, exiting the carousel here. Who's going to get the better drive? I stay here only to say I believe the first 3 positions are done and dusted. And this is where we're going to see the most action. So Relic and Ninja giving it all they got. Schultz trying to hold down that 4th place position as 2 drivers behind them are battling it out. Bad Luck Ruck probably too far back to do anything about it unless we see maybe some contact or a coming together of these drivers here. So Schultz, only a few corners left to navigate to bring home that 4th place position. Ninja and Relic doing everything they can, but there's only 2 corners left. Is this where the Volvo's going to throw it up the inside and hope for the best? We'll see. Maybe he's got straight line speed to pull out of the draft. And this is going to be it as they exit the final corner. Turn 14 is that Volvo got the legs on the Nissan. As they come up the hill, it looks like he's too far back, folks. He's not going to do it. And that is going to be it. That's going to be your final positions. And we will go through it. It's going to be your win, Shaggy. Followed by 2nd place, Wild. 3rd place, Jello. Then 4th place, Schultz. 5th place, Ninja. Relic. Bad Luck in 7th. 8th, Viper the Boss. OK Fox Jason in 9th. Madness in 10th, followed by Zip Plant in 11th. We still don't know what happened to him. Very sad to see. He's probably, well, it looks like he did make it back to the pit. So with that said, folks, we are going to get out of the lobby. I do have to close the stream here. I want to say thanks to everybody who came. I do have to run off. I do apologize. I won't be able to cover the 3rd race. So with the delay that happened and whatnot. So anyways, thanks to all the drivers. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks to all my viewers that came out. We're going to close it up, and we got to run. We will see you next week at a really, really great track in Britain. And do believe it's, you know, I forget the name at the moment, but it's, I guarantee you it's a track that you'll love. I know it's a great track next week. So anyways, with that said, this is Speed Curves. We're signing out, and we look forward to seeing you at 4 o'clock Central next week It's going to be a good race. That will be the final race of the 80s era series, and we will run into the week after that. We will see the 90s. So thanks again for everyone who has tuned in, and we will see you next week. The Speed Curve's out.